Hi, I'm Luke. Today on Auto Darts, we are checking out the XS-908 small steel cannon Raptor power launcher. Let's get going. With the ever-changing toy regulations in China, we are seeing a lot of airsoft toy manufacturers and other paintball companies get into making more blasters. And I think we are going to see more blasters coming out of China than we have ever seen in the coming year or two. We've already got a couple AEGs that have shown up on the market, and we also have a lot of blasters in this form factor. This is another very similar blaster in form and function to the Gecko or the S200 that Monkey Mods is carrying. The blaster is a mag-through grip, 7-round capacity, plus you can have one in the breech, so you could technically hold 8. It's also worth noting that this is a proprietary magwell. It is not compatible with the worker angled talons. And given the size of how large this grip that's a little bit disappointing. I guess it wouldn't fit in here, but it's obviously a different company than Worker. The XS-908 features a loop prime back here, which does catch two of my fingers to prime and fire, prime and fire. Alternatively, you could also kind of just grab this whole thing back here, especially if you actually take this sight off, you can kind of just use it as you would a normal blaster. On the top, we've got a Picatinny rail along with 2 additional Picatinny style sized rails on the left and right. Overall, the styling looks pretty good. However, I do think that this loop feels a little goofy. It is a very easy prime. I can prime it relatively easily with one finger, and it's very, very easy with 2. Ergonomically is where this blaster definitely suffers. It feels just a little awkward. There's a sharp notch back here that definitely digs into the back webbing of my thumb, and the grip texture and the spacing of where each grip, the grip shape here is just not great. I can't get 3 fingers in here. I can get 2, and then this part here is so thick. I'm not entirely sure why this is so thick, especially since we don't have a flared magwell, even with all of this space here. I would have liked to have seen that. Functionally, this blaster works just like the Gecko or the Fire Rat, and there are a number of other blasters coming out in this form factor. I was interested to see this blaster because it is so similar to the other blasters. The price point is pretty similar. I believe you can get this for around $50. We'll put the actual price up on screen because pricing does change depending on where you're buying it from. The mag release is on the side here. It is not ambidextrous, so this is only really good for right-handed people. However, even with my large adult hands, I can't reach it. And maybe I'm not exaggerating when I say, like, if my hand is anywhere where I've got my finger near the trigger ready to fire, my thumb literally does not touch that. I have to choke up and around to get to it. So if I was reloading, I almost have to. I can get it there, but it is a lot of work. I think if I got used to it, it would be a little better, but it is really not a super comfortable magazine release, especially compared to the Fire Rat. That's where the comparisons really start to go south. The Fire Rat, while it had the most comfortable mag-through grip, this has one of the least comfortable. I think this is a really good example of a company making a similar design and the design just truly not being as good as the competition. Now, they sent me this for free, and I'm sure they're not going to send me another one because I don't really have a lot of other good things to say about it. Because the grip isn't very comfortable, I find that not very functional or usable, and while it could have been improved, it hasn't been, and so what I'm seeing in my hands is not a blaster that I would like to play with. I am going to try this out at the next game just to see how it actually functions in an actual game. But between the poor ergonomics, the somewhat awkward an unnecessary T-pull. I just don't see the reason to do a T-pull on a blaster like this when the prime is so easy. It's just a little bit awkward. I do think this could be modified to just have a standard top slide fairly easily, and we could lose this and that would actually improve it dramatically. However, the ergonomics of the actual grip itself and the comfort are really huge detractors. I do like their packaging. I think that was quite good. Overall, relatively simple. I got a manual that's in Chinese, and it did come with a little fake green dot sight, which is kind of cool, actually. It looks fun. It's completely pointless. In fact, I can hardly see through it, so I don't think we'll be using that in any way. I will give this a shot out in the field, but at the end of the day, I do not think this is a winner. I'm gonna give this 2 out of 5 stars. It's not a piece of trash, but it's definitely not as solid as, say, the Fire Rat, especially when it comes to that comfort level. And given that you can get both of them for fairly similar prices, I really don't see the reason to purchase this over the other one unless you really like the body style more for this blaster. I'm hoping to get my hands on a lot of the other blasters coming out of China because I think it's really interesting to see what they do. They're definitely doing things that are different than us, and that gives us a lot more opportunities and a lot more variety, ultimately, especially with the AEGs coming out. AEG is a electric-powered Springer using a gearbox. The Challenger is one, and there's another one, I believe, as well. I'm hoping to get my hands on both of those as well because I do think that AEGs are going to have a big place in the hobby going forward, and a lot of the airsoft companies are working hard to figure out the engineering to make them work well with darts. I know Wacom had some content recently. I'll link that down in the description because I think he was one of the first to get a good video up on that here in the US, but we'll have lots more to come. I like to keep up on what China's doing because really at the end of the day, what Hasbro's doing is getting less and less interesting by the year, with some exceptions. There have been some fun stuff over the past year like Mega XL and some of the hyper stuff. I'd love to know what you think of the XS-908 power launcher, soft bullet, small steel cannon Raptor. Let me know in the comments. And until next time, I'm out of darts.